$200 billion flowed upwards, away from the people who actually play. This year, they take it back. YOM, where players play games straight from your PC, not a data center in Virginia. Meet Tyler Pemberton. Yes, this looks dramatic, but he's perfectly fine. Tyler's offline. His PC isn't. 47 players streaming from his GPU right now. Even AFK, Tyler's rig is pulling its weight. He's making money in his sleep. Maybe this is what happens when gamers finally take control of their own world. Turn your idle GPU into passive income. YOM.net. Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Eat, sleep, and repeat. YOM gaming cloud is really legit. Eat, sleep, and repeat. Idle GPUs turn racks to a fleet. Eat, sleep, and repeat. Nodes online, never skip a beat. Eat, sleep, and repeat. Studios and players instantly meet. March 25th, token generation event, kicking off the mainnet, extent of intent. Years of hard work and pushing the vision. Now the mainnet goes live, final submission. Instead of billion-dollar racks and controlled conditions, idle GPUs, worldwide join YOM coalition. It's compute democracy, industry liberation. Every gamer with a rig joins cloud decentralization. New world order, YOM disrupts data centers. Peer power network delivers a flawless render. Sub 10 latency, YOM reigns, no contender. Network speed is unmatched, watch the skeptics surrender. Forget 80 gig download, stop the drive decay. Now a browser tab is the only way to play. Yay. Click a link, watch the game boot in a second. Is YouTube for gaming, the future has beckoned. Let's break down the method, it's simple and lean. You connect to a node that is running the stream. Real deep in dream, yeah, YOM is supreme. Rendering HD pixels to every machine with a screen. Studios publish games for easy discovery. Players get instant access and massive variety. No server anxiety, just pure scalability. Global playability, that's the new capability. Distribution was trapped by the legacy wall. Now we just drop a link and the barriers fall. Telegram, Discord, or any other outlet you see. The future is free, go try Walter.gg. 0 installs, just a click, now the game is ignited. The instant play standard, the world is invited. That's the moment the industry quietly shifted, when the browser became the console. The paradigm lifted. If you own gaming PC, take this nice advice. Go to Fresh Miners and order a nano device. Simple plug and play, turn your rig to a node. Connect to the global network, into the scaling mode. When the players arrive, watch the demand reach the roof. Nodes stacking the profits, that's the fiscal proof. It's supply and demand, and the flywheel is steel. Token fuel in the loop, making the profit feel real. Stop watching from the sidelines, rise from the crowd. Get the nano plug-in, join the decentralized cloud. Scale the network with nodes, participate in the revolution. Play a stream, nodes serve publishers, fund the distribution.
While they argue downloads, we deleted the weight. While they build data centers, we decentralize the state. Now the planet runs the servers, every GP is elite.
YOM, flip the script forever. Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
YOM gaming cloud, man, it's the elite.
Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Idle GPUs, print racks, that is legit.
Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Instant play, bro, no download bullshit.
Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Token dips hit, we bid zero heat.
Oop. I'm gonna have that song in my head all night. That was pretty good stuff. That was submitted by one of our community members who just said, "Hey, I'm gonna help push out the YOM." So, hey, my sign's on. What's going on there? help out, push out the message. Oh boy, my battery might be dead. All right, I'll get it. I'll get it later. So I want to thank Young for putting up that video for us and letting me use it for the live stream today. I appreciate it. It's a great little tune. So coming to you live again Wednesday nights. We're doing 2 live streams every week now. We're doing Wednesday night and Fridays. Fridays we usually have a guest on. We'll talk more. I mean, I'll have some technology talk about what was actually produced and a lot more about what goes on inside of YOM's business side of things. But this Wednesday night broadcast is generally about the gaming industry, where we fit into all this and how we're, a part of, I want to say, the fix to the gaming industry right now. The gaming industry is still having problems with a lot of great games getting built and not enough great games getting discovered. So what we have with our decentralized network is a very inexpensive way for game publishers to reach a much wider audience than just people who can afford the heavy hardware and the console systems and everything. Because again, what we say is we can get your game up onto the internet as easy as you put a YouTube video up. So that's kind of the boil down. If you don't know what YOM is, the commercials and the video the intro video kind of cover all of it. If you're new to YOM. So, and we're launching our token next on Wednesday, a week from today. And I have a special announcement about that. I'm going to hold off to the end. But the Wednesday night ones, I'd really like to talk about the gaming industry, where we fit into it, and why we think we're so important to the next phase of the gaming industry, the next growth phase. And then also talk about the crypto side of things. The first thing I'm going to touch on tonight is the SEC ruling. So I'm here in the States. Our company is based in Europe. We have a big following in Europe. So if you're tuning in from Europe and you're not really paying attention to what goes on in the States, we've had about 10 years of cryptocurrencies being treated like in a big cloud. Like there was no regulatory clear understanding, and there was lawsuits, and XRP was one of the ones that got really hammered, but then came back and actually won their case, because there was no regulation. And that, of course, with no regulation, it scares away a lot of institutional investors. It makes everyone feel like, oh, if I try this, is the government going to come after and sue me? Like, so exchanges and everything, they kept their hands off to reach out to these institutional investments. So finally, the SEC has kind of put all of it out on the table and said, well, this is how we're defining everything. And for YOM and for other projects like us, it's a very good thing, because they clearly said that DePINs are not securities so long as they, pass all the barriers, which of course we've been very keen to pass anyways. So let me touch on this real quick. I'm going to bring up one of the articles I was looking at. There was many articles I read. Let's see, stop sharing that. Many articles I read to get an understanding of what the SEC ruling was. Also talked to some AI on this. Here we go. So they basically, I'm going to flip that around. Let's do this. Yes, yeah, smaller me, bigger it. Basically talked about the 5 categories that they're going to classify everything in, and I can zoom in a little bit more on that too. There you go. Where we fall in is infrastructure, right? A DePIN project like ourselves, we have. I've got some notes over here. Here we go. So the best part, why it's so good for us is it really makes it very easy for us to say, hey, we're providing infrastructure, and our token is used to support that infrastructure that we provide. We're not a moon token. We're not a, buy us and you're going to make it rich. Instead, our token is going to have strong value just because it provides a utility for our network to operate. What we do, again, is if you've got a GPU at home, and it sits idle at night, it's a gaming computer that sits idle at night because you go to sleep, or if you go off to work during the day, you can put your computer up on our network and we'll pay you to let us use your GPU when you're not using it. So it's a way to earn passive income. This is this is like a lot of DePIN projects, though the big part about us is in the gaming industry, which is the cloud gaming industry is just exploding. Everyone's trying to get into it, but they're all getting into it. Like this is the Nvidea and Amazon. They all get into it with a central server, which is super expensive and kind of laggy, and there's all kinds of bottlenecks and problems with the central server. By decentralizing it, we allow all the stream to go from someone's computer in the middle of, say, Kansas to somebody else in Kansas who wants to play the game. Your computer's hosting it, and then we just set up the connection through our orchestrator. So it provides a much quicker, lower latency, and the ping is much better, because again, we're streaming it from someone close by to you. You don't have to go out to a big data center that's got a limited pipe and could be very far away distance wise. And then we help alleviate all that problems from having to build these huge data centers. Anyways, the SEC ruling, having this kind of clarity to it, helps with things like exchanges can now openly start bringing in more DePIN projects. You're going to see probably a surge in DePIN projects getting their tokens listed on some of the bigger exchanges. We don't have to fight fight to prove the Howey test. We have to just say this is what we do. The one thing that in the description of what the SEC is ruling is that it really, again, still works in our favor, is that to pass audits and we have to publish the amount of users who are using our system, how many GPU cycles we've pumped out and how many games we've shipped out. But all those things are things we want to publish anyways. So for us, again, this ruling from the SEC that just dropped, I think it was this morning or maybe it was late last night, really helps out what we do here at YOM. It helps, again, clarify all the concerns that kept people away from DePIN projects. And that, I mean, that's, speaking selfishly, that's what I was most excited about when I saw all this. Obviously, there's it's more for the entire crypto industry. It opens up the entire crypto industry. It gives much more security for people who are, again, we're on the outside looking in and being like, oh, I don't know, this cryptocurrency thing is kind of dodgy. And to be fair, we've allowed a lot of bad actors into our space, and we put up with it for too long. Regulation, I think, is ultimately going to help out. I think that we need some policing of the space, and this is, again, this ruling from the SEC should help do all that. Anyways, so that's the first thing I want to touch on. By the way, I've got my chat window open so I can see people chatting or texting and dropping notes. So if you have questions, feel free to drop in here. I'll make sure I save some time at the end of all this to go through some of the comments and questions we get. So that was the SEC ruling. I can drop that out of there. The other thing that I'd like to touch on, we talk a lot about, let's see, how do I do that? Stop. Very good. We talk a lot about the power of cloud gaming and the promise that it holds. So we've spoken for a long time about the idea that, again, we're kind of the YouTube for games. We allow small publishers, big publishers to put their content up and stream it to any website, inside of Telegram, inside of Discord, because one of the big things that's plaguing the gaming industry right now is that the top 5 games get all the attention. Game discovery, getting people to see the game for the first time and even worse, to get them to play it. It's very, very hard to do. The gaming industry is spending, millions and millions of dollars in marketing just to get people to see the game and to get excited enough to decide that, hey, maybe I want to go ahead and download this. But when it comes to the step of, click on the link to download and install, it's a huge drop off. It could be the money cost. It could be the I don't want to clip space on my drive. There's a lot of reasons why the old model is just suffering and funneling people into, again, the same games that people played over and over again. Discovery is a big issue. So cloud gaming has the capacity, has the ability to open those gates up for everybody, but it gets super expensive. So it'll be used, in its current form, it's being used the same way that the traditional distribution program platforms have done it. You have a list of top 5 games, top 10 games that people go out and play, because if they put every independent title up online, it would be too expensive to host. It kind of shuts the smaller publishers out of the cloud gaming sphere. So our system, because it is decentralized, and we don't have to build a big data center, we don't have to pay for big data center costs. We're about 95% cheaper to operate on. So we can afford to get those cycles, those GPU cycles, out to even the smaller titles, and again for the larger titles too. We obviously will bring some of those on board as well. But we open the gates up wide and make it very, very easy for games to get discovered. Those games that aren't getting seen or played. And then the extra bit of, I can put the game on any URL, embed it in any kind of article. We've taught this before. If you have a game review article that someone's publishing, you can actually have the game, instead of just having a trailer video, have the game itself or a sample level of the game, published inside that game review article. But something came up that kind of crossed my path, and I was like, oh, you know what? We probably should talk about this a little bit too, because again, it's right in the same vein of what we do. So I'm going to play the video. What they've created is they're calling it, what do they call it? Study hall for World of Warcraft of the boss fights. Oh, you know, I got to switch that again, don't I? There we go. So study hall for boss fights. So it basically lets you the audio. So to kind of give those people who want a tutorial on how to do the boss fight, they get a chance to do that. Every time I go full screen, it does this, doesn't it? Again, this is a great idea. It's a great idea to have this available on Steam, and you can download and install these study halls. But again, a much better way to get people to play your game and to sample the boss fights, for example, would be to put it up on a website or send it around inside of a Discord channel or drop it into a Telegram group. Like that is an instant win where someone's actually playing the game real fast. Oh, it's a boss. Like I don't have to even know the game. I just know I like playing boss fights. I get to this sample of a boss fight and I'm playing it inside of Discord. I'm like, holy cow, this game's a lot of fun. Now I got to go find the whole game and download and install it, or at least, or again, if you're streaming it, the whole thing on, you just go right up to YOM. Or again, I say YOM, but really it's Walter GG, which is powered by YOM. Is the website you want to go to start playing these games. So the idea of study halls or tutorials, test nights, those kind of like a beta testing a game, much easier on our network, much less expensive, and a far wider reach of the players that you can be able to reach. Because again, you're not asking them to download and install, you're not asking them to have a big beefy computer, they're just playing it off of a website, off of our network. So that was the other thing I wanted to bring up. I thought it's pretty interesting that they're doing this with these study halls, but honestly, the better way to do this would have been to do it, and will be to do it on the YOM network. The title I'm titling this video today. Nvidia did what? This is the third topic I want to touch on, because I did say something about this at, I think, last Wednesday when I was talking about GDC and Nvidia's announcements of their DLSS technology. I guess I didn't. I was excited because I saw better shadows on the walls. What I didn't realize is exactly what Nvidia is doing now. So I'm going to bring this up now. Again, apparently I can't go full screen with this because for some reason the restream will lock up. So I'm going to try to get. Oh, let's see if I can get in closer and let you guys see this. This is the other video they dropped, and the reason why I said Nvidia did what is because it got them a fair amount of criticism. How do I get out of that? And I'll explain for people who are not in the gaming industry why this criticism was even levied. Let's get. Oh, Kotaku, you have too many ads. There we go. Okay, so you're seeing DSL off and DSL on comparisons. Watching again closely, the faces they show in the video. I'll drop the link. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. That's not going to do you any good, is it? Let me back up a little bit. What you just missed. Oh, that's right. I can repeat it. Here we go. All right. And again, Kotaku has too many ads. I apologize. Let me start this again. So watch closely the faces in this video. Again, this is from games like Resident Evil. Can you see that pass? I hope it's broadcasting clean enough. What this technology that Nvidia has now, and they're pushing, and they're very excited by it, they're very proud of themselves. It does on every frame, AI comes in and re-renders that frame to make it better. Right? That's the way that they see it. So the art that the game artists have created is it's basically getting a Snapchat filter. It's called that. And changing the way the game looks. Now, it does look more realistic. Lighting is much better. Textures are much better. Skin looks more like skin. It looks less artistic in a way. And this is what the gaming community is kind of really pissed off about. So what Nvidia did was they underestimated the gaming community's appreciation of AI, appreciation of the game art, and they exaggerated. They overcompensated. They thought that the gaming industry was going to be all about the graphics and graphics alone. So throwing AI on top of everything must mean that, with the graphics getting, better or more realistic anyways, that must please gamers. That's got to be a pleasing thing for gamers. Again, the gaming industry, it's a wonderful industry. Again, I've been in it. Oh, it turned red. No, that happened. I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. Well, my battery must really be dying. And there's good and bad in the gaming industry. That like it's a tight knit group. Game developers, tight knit group. We kind of all know each other. It's a bit incestuous. We've all kind of at one point or another we've worked with somebody who's worked with somebody who's worked with someone. That's really not very far removed from each other. And in this way, it's really good because it's super supportive. One studio closes down, everybody who's worked with anybody at that studio is pushing, hey, hire these folks. They're really great. They're super talented, that kind of thing. And with that support from the inside game developers, it's kind of reached a level also with the game fans that they're also very strident. They're very supportive of the industry itself. And so the idea that AI is going to come in and do a render pass on every frame of a game that people love, like Resident Evil, which has its own look, to make things better. Again, I use quotes when I say better. It sits really, really bad with the large part of the vocal, maybe it's a minority, but there's a vocal corner of the gaming industry fans who would think just Nvidia really just overstepped their bounds. They're doing something that the fans really are just not going to appreciate. Maybe Nvidia is early. Maybe they're launching this technology before the fan base is ready for it. It's probably if they had done more user testing, like focus groups on it, they probably would have realized that, hey, this is still too early to go ahead and release this because the gaming industry is contracting. People are losing jobs because of AI. And now, not just the programming jobs where you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but the visual graphics jobs are going to start getting cut and replaced by AI. But that's noticeable. And again, I'm a fan of the games that try something very different with their graphics. I'm just a fan of the art that's being created inside of the art of gaming itself. Is just the art that gets created, the animation, that kind of thing. So to have the computers handle too much of that stuff, I guess I understand why there's such an uproar. And I think that Nvidia really has to be I don't know how long it's going to last. The dust up may last like a week, and then a week, 2 weeks from now, nobody cares. But really, this is something that Nvidia really kind of stepped in. So I'm very curious to watch. I was excited again because I like the way that the environments looked with that pass on it. But I have to agree with most people who were taking a look at the characters and saying, yes, the characters look more realistic, but they look less like game art. And that's kind of where I sit. One last thing I was just going to touch on, bring it up, is again Walter GG. So if you haven't made your way over to Walter GG, this again all powered by YOM. There are games like Skyrim that are live. We're powering it. It's running off our network. The more you play, the more we get good metrics to kind of show everyone just how fast we're able to play. Now we have nodes across the world. Again, a very large portion of them are in Europe. If you're in North America, there are nodes that are live here, including here where I am. There are some in South America, Australia. I would say the Middle East and India too. In the Middle East and Southeast Asia, we're probably not going to have the reach there that we want to have immediately. So if you're trying to reach us from any of those areas, you might get a message that just says we haven't got a node in your space just yet, which is an opportunity for you if you've got a gaming rig and you want to earn passive income. All those regions where we're not, actually every region is going to be a great place to have a node. But if you look at the saturation map, and being in an area that's not saturated is just advantageous for you because you can earn more as the nodes go live. Let me talk a little bit about the TGE since that is coming up. Next Wednesday is our TGE date. We have a time. We're going to be releasing at noon UTC. So 1 Central European time is when the token should go live. We'll have more information this Friday on the town hall. The Friday town hall happens at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central European time. So there'll be more information on it then. What I would say is, shoot, I was going somewhere with that. there's a lot going on behind the scenes for making sure that everything goes well. I mean, audits and technology and filling up wallets, those kinds of things. So there's a lot going on there. With the people are saying, what about there's no airdrop? Well, there are people who have been earning XP for the last couple of months, and we asked, those people should continue to do what they're doing, because the token becomes available to them 3 months after TGE is when we start dropping into the wallets and people who have earned it. But as far as just an open airdrop, you signed up and we're going to drop some tokens on you. That's not the way a utility token works. And it's probably, not probably, this is the way that tokenomics should have worked in the beginning. I think a lot of the crypto space, like I said, has gotten kind of a bad rap because it seemed like it was money for nothing. And money for nothing really has about as much value as the second part of that. So having technology that works and having a token that is a oil inside the engine of that technology, that's kind of the way that we look at the YOM token. That's the better way to run a blockchain project, or a project that uses blockchain technology. We're a technology project. We've got a very powerful, a very leading edge cloud gaming system. But we're using tokens to be the fuel to do the payment system for the token or the node operators. But we're not something that we're just a project that just airdrops tokens on people because we want you to go out and start swapping tokens with each other. Really, it's about fueling the ecosystem, fueling the node operators. So don't think that an airdrop really is self-defeating in many cases. And I think you've seen that with a lot of projects. Meme tokens are out there. So if you're looking for a quick way to turn around and make money, you can try to play that meme token game. I don't advise it. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take out anything I'm saying as any kind of advice in your investment advice. But what I keep on saying over and over again is technology and those infrastructure projects have got the next cycle. It's going to be what keeps people interested in the Web3 space, and it's going to be the thing that powers the way that games are distributed in the future. So that's Walter GG. Go on, play some games. Let me take a look at some of the stop sharing. Let me take a look at some of the questions we got in the chat, and I'm sure there's going to be some of the hey, what about the airdrop? Where's okay, let me start from the very beginning. Here we go. Let's go. When will YOM games be made available in every country of the world? We'd like to say that it's going to happen right after launch, because I think that people are going to see that the promise of it. We're making inroads into all those areas that don't have a saturation of nodes, but really the nodes that have been sold, because we have if you go to Fresh Miners right now and look for YOM, you can find our hardware available. If you're not familiar, what we do is we provide a external hard drive, and you plug that into your computer and you boot off of that drive. What we wanted to prevent was, we don't want people to have to feel that we can get into their hard drive. We're very walled off. Anyways, that hardware is available on freshminers.com if you go to look for YOM. Those first shipments are going out, I'm going to say early April. So we should be reaching many more countries by that time in early April, and we'll get them live, by mid-April. And then those games that we're hosting on Walter GG are going to be available in all those countries. So that, I think, answers your question, Dan Lee. Cool. Will there be rewards to play? Will there be rewards on play YOM games? So So it's really kind of up to the publishers. Publishers are welcome to drop monetary rewards or drop in-game items, those kinds of things. You don't earn YOM tokens by playing the games. You earn YOM tokens by operating a node on our network and being a node operator. What happens is the game publishers, they purchase time on our network in fiat. We convert it to YOM tokens, and then we pay the node operators in those YOM tokens that we've purchased off the market. But we also burn 5%. So we have a constantly diminishing supply of tokens on the network. And this is part of the deflationary aspect of things. It kind of rewards us. The more sessions we have, the more that gets burned. It's part of the way it supports the token. Hope to be able to afford a node soon. I hope you are able to as well. Danzy Only Fams. It's a great name. I also prefer a node. I also prefer to receive a node as an airdrop token. We're certainly going to be doing node contests to win nodes. That seems like an easy win for us as well. So there'll be those contests coming up, I'm sure. Can YOM games be played on a mobile phone? Absolutely. Yes. So that's, again, what we say is any device that has internet access and a browser can play these games, because, again, all the compute is happening on the network, and we're just streaming the video to the end user. The difference is that with a centralized server, the way that Amazon Luna or Nvidia GeForce Now or Xbox Games Pass, all these centralized game streaming services, they've got a big data center somewhere somewhere in the world. Like for me, I think the closest one might be in New York, which is if I was going to drive it, it would be like a 10-hour drive. So it's trying to send a signal back and forth from that building to my computer and back again. Every time I hit a fire button, it's got to send the fire button out to New York and then back to me, going through whatever hubs they have to go through. So it's laggy, right? It's got all kinds of drop because of that distance. It's just one part of it. The other part of it is that data center's only got a pipe so big. I mean, it's a big pipe, but to handle a whole bunch of gamers, also handling AI requests going into that data center, also handling every other business request, that pipe just gets clogged. So the signal going in and out of that building is just getting messed up. Our system, because I'm using a computer in like the capital of our state, or maybe it's the city. It could be a city close by to me, off a gaming computer. The gaming computer is much faster. The pipe's much faster, much clearer. Anyways, it's not a lot of clog on it, and the signal is that much shorter. So the responsiveness is much faster. We're seeing like 6-7 milliseconds. We're seeing games being played on our network. I think we had one of those played for almost 4 hours the other day, with like a average latency. Average latency was like 6 milliseconds, which is just crazy because most of the other cloud gaming systems, they try to get to 30, but even then they fall down at 30 milliseconds, and we're getting 6 and 7. So, will the farming XP stop after TGE? No, crypto surfing. We're going to continue to let people earn XP after TGE because, again, we want to get people involved in the community, not just up to, and then TGE happens, everyone just kind of runs away. We have a good product, and we have a great opening for the gaming community. So we need people to be involved in the XP process all the way through. I don't know if we even have an end date for it. By the way, sir, I have a community called Patty Crypto. I hope we can partner by doing some testing on it. So yeah, all the people who have communities, and we've had a lot of, this is the thing, as we get closer to TGE, we get a lot of outreach, a lot of people wanting to be, involved in the launch, or people wanting to get their group involved in our group. That what you're suggesting there is probably one of the better things. If you've got a gaming community, and you're looking for a way to, or if you're a game developer, maybe you're making independent games, and you want to get your games tested, or you want to have your players, the people in your community playing on our network, reach out to us. Go to our Discord. It's the best way to do it. That's how we track everything, through Discord tickets. We've got a great series of mods. Our moderators are awesome. They'll make sure your ticket gets to me, and we can talk about maybe we do some kind of partnership with your DAO. Will there be like a secondhand market for nanos? So it was an interesting question. When we talked about the nanos and like what happens if you get a nano and you realize that your computer can't run it, or you're not really earning what you want to earn. This has been an issue with some of the earlier DePIN projects that came out. People were buying these nodes and thinking they were going to make themselves rich, but didn't realize that the service that DePIN project was offering didn't really even have a market. It's different than cloud gaming, where we know there's a huge already demand for cloud gaming. So what happened with all those units is many of them just kind of sit and collect the dust and sit on the shelf forever. So we said, well, what do we do with those people who purchase a nano from us, but they for some reason don't want or can't run it any longer? Well, the first step to that was to prevent people from buying one where they couldn't really host it. So we created an app. It's called a rig check. So if you go to app.yom.net and look for the rig check box, I'm sure it's up there. Let me see if I can find it real quick. What we did was we created a way that would kind of guard against some sales that didn't make any sense. .net. Here we go. Yeah. Nodes rig check. I'll bring this up over here, and you guys can see the URL. So the first step is don't sell nodes to people who really can't use them, because that just seems to, it's self-defeating. So if you go to app.yom.net and at this button here, see earnings, this will bring up the rig check, and it'll let you test to see if your computer's fast enough, if your internet connection is fast enough, and you approximate your earnings. You can, because you don't have to run it 24/7. We're saying that a person runs it 24/7, and with a network saturated, we should be earning about $50 a month per stream. And if you've got a powerful enough computer, you can run between 2 and 8 streams at once. So that's kind of the range you're looking at. But not everyone's going to run 24/7. Some people are just going to run 8 hours, while they sleep at night or while they're off at work. Some people might decide that to upgrade their GPU so they can get a bigger return. So all that happens on the C earnings page. So again, this is just a way to start. But there's a check your rig. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Check your rig button. If you check that and start this check, it's a host. It's gonna put the app on your computer and then check you should be running this on the computer that you think is going to run the node. Don't just put it on your phone. Don't do it just for mobile. But again, we want to kind of prevent those sales going out where that doesn't make any sense. As far as a secondary sale market, we had plans to repurchase or purchase back nanos that didn't get used. I don't know how far we've gotten with that. There we go. That's something that we have to have further consideration on. Now, yes, you can still sell your nano. It's your device. It's not like you're not renting it from us. You own it. You can move it out if you want to. But as far as how you would do that, we're going to have to look more into what the best way to enable that to happen will be. Why did the YOM token community reduce from 9% to 2%? A little more than 2%. Well, that's, again, I think you're looking at the wrong category. What we have is people who had the original YOM token when so there was 2 YOM entities. The first entity was creating a metaverse, and they're no longer available. That company shut down. We came along and said, wait a minute, the technology that they were using to host that metaverse project was super valuable. So we purchased all the assets and everything. We didn't have to take the token. We just said, well, why don't we kind of try to bring as many people who are involved in that project and that community to the new YOM, what we're building now with the decentralized network. So we opened the door for people who had tokens to make a swap. This is, again, just all voluntary. So some people did, not everyone did. I think a lot of people just kind of fell asleep because of that, but then the token kind of dwindled down. So that's a community token. That 2% you're seeing is people who decided to hodl, or is that right? It's the hodl group. One of the 2 groups. One of the ones could possibly keep on there. The other group decided that they were going to hold it longer term. The people who are earning XP are in a different pool. That pool is again, it's going to be available after we originally thought 6 months is what we were being told by the exchanges we were getting involved with. You have to set it up for 6 months. We found out the community was like really hot about that. So we said, well, wait a minute, let's go back and barter again. So we got it down. We got them to agree that 3 months is a long enough wait. So that's the community token pool that you should be looking at. And again, if you go to our tokenomics page, it explains it, I think, probably better than I just did. Yeah, I don't want to miss the sale of nanos, but there's a lot of unknowns regarding network speed and rig. Yep, that's what the rig check is for. Please feel free to use it. I mean, we don't want people to get out over their skis, purchase something that they can't use. It doesn't help you and it doesn't help us. Did I get to the end of the questions? Man, I went for 40 minutes already. And again, I know I talk super fast, and I apologize if you were having a hard time keeping up with me. I get excited because I'm excited about what we're building. And again, it's a super busy time, so we get in and out of meetings like all day long. Next Wednesday, we're going to do a live stream, probably from, I suppose, the hour before the TGE happens, and then probably go for another 5-6 hours after. So a long, like 7-hour, 8-hour live stream. We'll be here. You'll be on YouTube, on X, and on LinkedIn, I imagine. Although we might go to Twitch instead of LinkedIn on that day. We go back and forth. Sometimes we do Twitch. Sometimes we do LinkedIn. So if you want to like be part of that launch event, we're going to have guests on from partner projects. We'll have some of the team members on talking about the technology. We'll talk a little bit more. It's funny because our CEO, Yort, and I got in a conversation today about the change in the economic system that's happening, and all these. I mean, there's a lot of crazy news going on. If you watch the markets today, it was bloody. That's an easy way to say it. But we see ourselves as part of that solution as well. We talk about how we, a solution for the gaming industry, but just the idea that we provide a way for people to make passive income from the equipment they own. One of the big commodities that we know is going to happen in the future, one of the big things people need in the future is GPU cycles. It's used in AI. It's used in gaming, cloud gaming, all this. So people have it's like owning land that has gold under the ground, but you don't do anything with the gold under the ground, and so you're not making any money off the gold that you own because you own the land. Your gaming PC is much the same. If you got a gaming PC, you've got GPU cycles in there that when you go to bed and you're not using your system, they're just sitting idle and not being used, not being mined, or or pulled out of the ground the way that if you sat on a gold mine would be. So we're providing an outlet or a revenue stream by allowing people who have GPUs at home to earn money from their equipment without having to do anything, passive income, right? And this is part of the way that he and I was talking about today. This is going to be part of the way that the new economy works. People, again, AI is going to replace a lot of blue collar jobs. If you're living in a cubicle under fluorescent lights, you're really not having a great existence anyways. But it's going to be even worse because AI is going to take that job away from you. So people who can work with their hands, people who are skilled, I mean, they'll always have a place because robotics won't be able to get underneath your sink and fix your sink. It's just not going to happen. There'll always be a need for a plumber. Same with electricians, same with a ranch hand, those kinds of things. There's a lot that's you're not going to see a robot take care of some horses on a ranch. It's just not going to happen. But there are going to be a lot of people whose jobs are displaced. So having a passive income stream by having the equipment that you have at home earning you money. I mean, we see it already with Ubers. I mean, that's another example of people who are taking the item that they own, their automobile, and earning money with it, and a little less passive, right? You got to actually get around and drive people. But AI controlled cars, if you own one of those, they'll probably lease it out as an Uber from time to time. But your GPU gaming rig at home, another great example of it. So, I got a comment. Nice 7-hour stream again, but please launch this time. You and me both, brother. If I have to go another 7-hour stream and not launch, that's just too much time for me on the computer talking. But this time we're set to go. I mean, we're really so many pieces are falling into place. And anyways, what I was saying was that conversation about the change in the economy and how we fit into all of that. I expect that's going to be part of that 7-hour live stream. I'm sure I'll get York talking about it because it's one of his topics that he likes to spend a lot of time with. And he and I kind of went on for a bit this morning, but I basically said, hey, hold it. Let's save that for the live stream. It's going to be great for the live stream. All right, gang, that is 45 minutes of your evening. I appreciate you spending the time with me. I'm going to, again, this Friday coming up, we do another live stream. It'll be from 12 to, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central European time. We'll talk more about the technology, a lot more details about, again, every day, more and more details come out about our TGs. We'll have even more about TG on that day, less about the gaming community. And then a week from today is the live event, and it'll start. I expect it'll start, let's say 11 UTC or noon Central European time. That's probably about the time. But we'll have some announcements out. Watch our socials. Get involved in our socials. If you're not in our Discord or Telegram, do that. Follow us on X and follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. That's helpful as well. And be good to yourself. Be good to each other people. Drink lots of water. Do all the things that are right. And we'll be around next week and we'll talk more. All right, everybody. Cheers. Thanks. I appreciate you tuning in. Talk next week. Or talk